A little bit softer now, and a little bit softer now, and a little bit softer now.
Welcome into the February 21st edition of the Finishing Forks Golf Podcast. I'm your host, Jack Swisher, joined as always by Sean Paul.
Hey.
And Chris Villa.
Yeah, buddy.
And the guy I always forget to announce is Matt Villa behind the glass, or the proverbial glass. We don't actually have glass that he's behind.
We probably should put glass up.
But he's here. Should we just put like
have him hold a pane of glass in front of his face?
You think we can get like one of those plexiglasses from a hockey rink?
Yeah.
Just like put it right in front of him?
Probably just go take one.
Just have him hold on to a suction cup of it.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah, so we are here a day late.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah, not $1 short. Maybe,
No.
I don't know.
Well,
I probably have less dollars today than
maybe
yesterday.
$8 short.
Yeah. Thanks to Sean because he got to go to Pebble Beach this weekend.
I sure did.
He sure did. And before we start with that, because I'm sure he's got a ton of stories coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about the Genesis Open, preview the Honda Classic, and we actually have questions. We begged.
We got quite a few questions.
We begged. Like I begged hard, and people delivered. So good stuff.
I like it.
Yeah. So Sean, here's a tee it up question for you. How was it?
It was okay.
Oh, okay. Nice.
All right. No, I'm kidding. It was. People, talk about going to Pebble. They talk about, it's a trip of a lifetime, all that good stuff. And honestly, it really was.
Oh.
I mean, it was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you've heard from just going up there, the whole area, the hotel setup, the restaurants on site, like the whole, other than the golf course thing, just as good as, as what anyone says, just as good as the golf course itself, And I mean, it was honestly, it was the greatest golf trip I've ever been on for sure.
Awesome.
We made a couple of last minute changes.
Yeah.
We originally were supposed to play Pebble Beach on Monday and then play Spyglass on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we were checking the weather, seeing how things were going.
It
and
dumped
it's
on Monday,
supposed
right?
to dump on Monday.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be kind of off and on Tuesday. And first thing, we check in, or we don't even check into the hotel. We went straight to the hotel desk and we were like, hey, can we change our tee time? And happened to be a spot that opened up for a twosome on Tuesday at Pebble. So we flip-flopped it. Went out on Monday and just got absolutely dumped on for 18 straight holes. I've never been wetter in my entire life.
No.
Like, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I mean, one of those days where if you were anywhere else, you're not playing golf.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. But before I get into that, so we show up, that night. We check in. We do our thing. We grab some
the
food.
night before,
Sunday
right?
night, yeah.
Okay.
And we're having a few drinks, hanging out in the lobby.
Yes.
And, it's Pebble Beach. Like, there's some cool people around, whatever it is. It's President's Day, so there's, a little bit more crowded than normal.
Yeah.
We sit down and we start chatting with this guy, right? So him and his wife, or his girlfriend, I believe it was. We get to talking. He's an astronaut.
Like NASA?
Who's been into space like 6 times.
What?
So that was our first meeting of somebody that was there. So we got drunk enough that the guy that I was with kept calling him Buzz Lightyear. And it was the funniest thing I've ever been through in my entire life. Like, you ever, you call somebody a nickname, whatever it is, and you can tell they don't really like it.
Oh, yeah.
It was that times 10, and he would not stop. And there were tears coming out of my eyes every time he called this guy Buzz Lightyear. It killed me.
What did Buzz do?
Nothing. He just kind of would sit there and like, ha, 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 ha.
Were you like talking to him?
We were talking to him. Well, really, this is the other part of the story is his girlfriend that he was with would not shut up. And all we wanted to say was like, hey, this guy's an astronaut. Great for you that you do whatever you do. Like, we don't want to talk to you. The dude's an astronaut, been into space. That's all we want to hear about.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't let Buzz talk.
Yeah. By the end of the conversation, was she calling him Buzz too?
No, but she was fully okay with it.
Yeah.
She was
Loving it.
loud. She was into it. Yeah, it was, calling that guy Buzz Lightyear, though, it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yes. All right. So,
Yeah.
so he didn't do anything? Like,
Wait, no, I mean, he told us stories
no
about
cool bar
space.
fight or
No. It was
Oh.
just, that was it. How about this? The bonus. to go into space.
Yes.
From the government. Any idea what do you guys think you would make going to space?
Like the extra?
Yeah, like the extra.
I don't even know what an astronaut makes.
Yeah, what does an astronaut
Okay,
make?
so first off, he
That was
said he
volunteer
got
work.
paid his normal. He was in the Navy when he went in from the Navy to NASA, whatever it was.
Okay.
He got paid his normal Navy rate.
Yeah.
80
'cause
grand
it's
a
still
year.
Government.
Yep,
and
80
official.
grand a year. Just whatever he was making in
Yep.
the Navy. Extra. So this is, the government gives you a stipend basically, or a dollar amount. They take out food out of that. They take out lodging out of that. So the lodging, which is on the space station, technically, whatever it is. So they take all that out of, your stipend, whatever they're giving you.
You have to pay for the astronaut food?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Like
This
the
guy-
little
In the end,
yeah, I've had astronaut
got
food.
paid
It's pretty good.
$4 a day
To be,
to be in space. $4 a day.
On top of what he actually
On
makes.
top of his normal salary, which is
Okay.
80 grand, and we're talking like, I'm not getting out of bed for less than $500,000
What-
if I'm going to space.
what
Like,
is-
I was
there's
gonna
no
say
chance.
this is the opposite of what I was thinking this was gonna
He
be.
took away so much of the pizzazz, like
Yeah.
the coolness of being an astronaut.
what is the
$4.
rent on the space station?
I mean, it's got to be pretty high, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to
Not a whole lot of real estate going on up there.
I mean, actually, I would argue there's all the real estate in the world, just
Well-
not really usable,
Yeah, you have to have like a like something to live in. Yeah.
like a spaceship.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just be floating around on some stars.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, the guy made it was a funny story. It definitely took
Yeah.
away some of the
Yeah.
coolness factor,
He's getting paid like $1 million to go to space. But
and
at
then
the
they're
end of the
taking
day,
it all away.
Yeah, it's all in
Yeah,
rent.
the guy's
Wow.
making like a 5 spot,
Huh.
which is
And he
pretty
prob-
incredible.
And you know what? He's probably paying double rent here on Earth. He's
Right?
probably paying for wherever he's at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's paying taxes on top of all
Wow.
that stuff.
Wow.
Pretty rough, huh?
I'm glad I didn't
All
go
right.
into that
The
field.
government.
Yeah, but anyway, that's my astronaut story.
Yeah.
I'll make the
All right.
golf part quick.
Shout out to Buzz.
Yeah, big time Buzz out there.
Did you throw the podcast? Are you gonna be listening to it?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Of
Say.
course I did.
Yeah.
So Spyglass on Monday. Went out there, got absolutely dumped on. If we set the rain aside,
Yep.
that golf course is outstanding.
Nice.
I mean, the back nine of that golf course, I wrote down on my notes here, very Augusta-like. I mean, very Augusta-like. The par threes, just the bunkering, kind of the way it was all laid out. It was very reminiscent of, of playing some of those holes out there at Augusta. So it was really cool. I actually played better on Monday in the absolute
rain?
downpour
Yeah.
than I did on Tuesday at Pebble. But I want to make my Pebble thing quick.
Okay.
I would say there's, probably 5-6 holes or so that you're kind of like, meh, whatever, which
Yeah.
is kind of what you hear from everybody. And when you watch it on TV, there's, a few holes that are out there that are just,
How about the other
okay.
12?
I'm going to throw some of those into the pretty cool because, opening tee shot, that kind of stuff that you kind of know you've seen
Yeah.
before. And then there are 6 or 7 holes or so that are just absolutely like unforgettable. I mean, just like ingrained in my brain, like you're never going to lose those couple of sites. And it's, 6, 7, and 8,
Yeah.
the signature par 3, all that stuff. And just some of the coolest golf I've ever seen in my life.
So this is the question I hear all the time. If it wasn't on the ocean, say that the ocean was just a waste area, just junk instead of an ocean, would it be a good golf course?
I say it goes from a 10 out of 10 down to a 7 out of 10. I mean,
Okay.
it's still a spectacular
Still a
golf
good
course.
golf course, still
yeah,
good
I mean,
holes
just
out there.
The cliffs,
Yeah.
that whole ridge line that you're going
Okay.
across and you're playing those holes. I mean, it's awesome.
You still have
if
good
that
views,
was
yeah.
if that was ocean or not, whatever it is. Really one of the coolest experiences I've ever had.
Nice.
And definitely one of those things that, putting away my little piggy bank now to go back. Because
Yeah,
it was I mean,
okay.
absolutely something I want to do with, a
Nice.
group of, your normal golf buddies.
Yeah.
Definitely something you want to do.
So
Your
you're-
podcast mates.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
So,
right.
Got to-
Finishing Forks trip to Pebble.
Yes, you're really gonna have to save a few pennies though.
Yeah, quite a few pennies.
Yes.
And there's some other golf courses up there that we didn't play. So, you got to go back and try the other ones out too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it's like,
I'm sure everyone that's listening pretty sick of hearing about how awesome your weekend was.
yeah,
'Cause
well,
I know I am.
I'm
Or
sure
your
I'll
year.
stop talking about it here at the end of our podcast.
Yeah, probably.
I'll
Yeah.
keep going. Things will pop up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we're all happy for Sean.
Beats my weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was your guys' last couple of days?
Fine.
Fantastic.
Saw John Wick 2.
There you
Nice.
go. There
How
you
was
go.
that? Keanu.
Yeah, I mean it was exactly like the first
That's
one.
cool.
Yeah.
Chris, I played Pebble Beach. Jack, what'd you do?
I hung out.
Yeah.
At a work thing.
A little work thing.
Yeah.
Have you heard what I did?
Yeah, we went to Pebble.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I played Pebble. That was cool.
Yeah, I'm over it. It's cool.
All right.
It's all right.
All right.
I was over it last week.
You guys want to see some pictures? Save that for later?
Yeah,
I
we'll
saw
save
them
it.
all.
Okay.
I follow you.
All right. Enough of Sean. Let's jump on into the news.
News team, assemble!
Big stuff in the news, though, right, Jack?
Yeah. Tiger withdraws again from a press conference.
Ooh,
He
2 for 2.
Yeah, he withdrew twice from 2 different press conferences last week.
Was this a pre-announced press conference?
Yes.
Or is this something
No,
that
they were.
Well, excuse me. This is one that he said he was going to do a while back, or did he, like, after he withdrew from the first one, said, okay, I'm going to do a press conference this time, and then withdrew again?
Yeah, he pushed it back a day and then withdrew.
Jack,
doctor's orders.
You ever
Doctor's
been
orders.
so hurt that you couldn't talk to somebody?
I'm hurt today and I'm doing a podcast. I'm just fine.
Right.
So, yeah.
What's the deal with that?
The
I mean,
doctor's
really tell me.
orders said that he had to be laying down. He said he couldn't be getting up.
I'm going to go back to my favorite podcaster of all time, Mr. Adam Carolla.
Okay.
And he has a whole thing that he goes on called Stupid or Liar.
Okay.
This falls into that category of stupid or liar.
I'd take stupid.
So is it, do you really think that are you just that stupid or that hurt that you can't do a press conference?
Yeah.
Or are you lying to us? Because it's one of the two.
No, I don't know. I think
I honestly am leaning towards he's stupid enough to think he was going to do a podcast or a podcast, excuse me, a press conference and then not do it. I don't get it.
I'm not gonna. I'll throw a conspiracy theory out at you.
Ooh, okay.
I would probably say that he had a little minor surgery to clean some stuff up in there. You know what I mean? Like, so if all of a sudden he's can't go anywhere, Dr. George's got to lay down.
Why would that?
I don't know.
Why would that be a conspiracy theory? Why don't you think he would just come out and say that he had to clean up a little bit of something, whatever it was?
Because he's pretty big on not giving out any news until he absolutely has to.
I think now would be the time.
Nah.
Yeah.
He can literally not ever come out and say he did it. There's no rule that says he has to.
Pretty
This is the NFL where they have to give this information.
Maybe it's just me, but I'm not the guy who to go out there on and make an announcement and say something that's gonna not clear anything up and just have people talk and people throw out headlines and this and that. I'd rather just put something out there and have people not think about
aren't
it.
really talking about anything. They're just saying, "Oh, I guess he's not coming."
Yeah,
I think they're just used to it.
And I think they're all on my side, and the fact that I'm over it. I'm over hearing about it.
Me too.
And everyone's just kind of done.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Rory plays golf this weekend with the president of the United States. Played on Sunday, and he did confirm that he says he's on track to play at the WGC event, not this weekend, but the weekend following. So Rory's back. What do you guys think about that?
I like that he's back. Where did they play? One of Trump courses?
Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, shocker.
Where's that?
Who knows?
Florida.
Oh.
Oh, Jack knows.
Well,
There you
come
go.
on now. I wrote the notes, so I had to read the story to get the notes.
I guess so. Any cool stories from that? Like, did
No.
Rory talk about playing with Trump or say anything about that?
Yeah, he said he was a pretty good golfer.
Cool,
but
whatever.
yeah, pretty
Not
much.
a big deal.
The biggest story was that Trump said he didn't play golf, and then the other people came out and said, "No, we played with him." So, so it came out.
Trump not being truthful?
Yeah,
Excuse me.
yeah. For another podcast, Sean. Yeah. So he's back. I'm pretty excited about it. I think if he's ready to go, he's another name to be thrown in that bucket of really good players out there right now. So interesting to see what he will do this
Arguably
year.
one of the best.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Not number one though. We'll get to that in a minute.
ooh, yes, we will.
So next in the news, PGA Tour leaves the West Coast heading to Florida. Got any? I will say that Florida is a lot different of golf courses than out here in California or the West
is.
Coast. So there you'll see some different rough, some different green grasses, some different fairway grasses. It's a totally different kind of.
everything, yeah.
It changes kind of how guys play golf
And
even.
apparently different weather.
Yeah, because it's going to be 75 and sunny.
Like it should be here in Southern California.
Yeah.
This is a weather podcast now, just called Sean Hates on the Weather every podcast.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Sooner or later,
It's
we're going to get
stupid.
out of this whatever winter we're in.
I don't know.
Usually we just skip winter, go straight to spring from
Right?
fall. But
Just 2 springs and then a summer and a half.
Yes.
That's perfect by me.
so yeah, the golf courses are going to be a little different. I think you'll see maybe some different players playing better than others. So I think it's worth watching here for the next couple.
The end of Brant Snedeker. He's going to kind of.
Well,
he's
apparently,
going to hang out. For
I think
the next
the
little while.
Genesis with the end of Brant Snedeker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're in Florida. They'll be playing there for a couple of events and then bop around the Gulf Coast there for a little while. Until Masters time.
Oh, man, it's coming.
I watched a flyover of all the Masters holes, like Augusta, and it got me so jacked up. I was like, oh my gosh! If you get a chance to do that, it had the Masters music and everything playing.
That's what.
Yes.
That's all it's
Yes.
about. It's just when you hear that little theme song come on, and just the logo, or not the logo, but the
logo,
like the
yeah.
TV kind of setup is different.
Yeah.
Like they make the Masters,
Some flowers.
scoreboards and whatever.
Yeah.
It's
in
beautiful.
foreground.
Some magnolias.
Yeah.
No.
I think that's
the
what
tree.
it is.
That's
That's
the tree.
Magnolia Lane.
Tree,
is
yeah.
where
Yeah.
you drive in.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So that got me pumped.
I'm excited. I saw a thing
ready.
that said 100 days till the Masters, and that was a few days ago. So we're in double digits.
It's way less than 100.
Well, I said I saw it a while back. Like,
You said
did
like
I
a
say
couple-
a few days ago.
You did.
Maybe it was like a month ago. I don't even know.
It literally might have been like Christmas. You saw
Wait
that.
a second.
Well,
Is it?
It's
he
like
just got off a
it-
plane. He
it-
might be on a jet lag.
Jet
here.
lag.
It's like a month and a half
Jet
from
lag.
now. It's like 45 days.
Yeah. So
Ish.
So it was 100
Give or
at
take.
some point.
Quick
Yeah.
math.
Again, jet lag. It's a
All right.
39-minute flight.
Yeah.
Rough.
All right. I thought this one was funny. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram. Thomas Peters
Fantastic.
at the Genesis hit a drive and it hit his girlfriend in the back.
Saw that.
Ended that relationship? What do you think?
Yep. Did you see the little
Yeah,
thing between them two?
Yeah, she didn't seem that
I couldn't tell if it was her trying to kind of be
play it
funny
off.
about
Yeah.
it, or if she was actually upset.
I think she was trying to be funny about it.
I
Yeah.
hope so, because that's outstanding. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
that
She wasn't the
Yeah.
only one that got hit by a ball this
No.
weekend.
So there's a
Pat-
lot of that.
Pat Perez hit a guy in the head.
Did he?
You hit 3 players.
Did
I mean,
he
three
really?
three people.
3 people on the same shot or different shots?
Different.
For a guy that was
No,
pretty,
on different shots.
for a guy that was pretty high up there on the leaderboard, that's tough to do.
He had a rough,
Meltdown.
he had a rough Sunday.
Did it?
I don't
Meltdown.
remember exactly, but I remember it. It was.
I was
I
was
remember.
busy on Sunday, Jack.
Yeah.
Do you know where I was going?
You were flying to Pebble.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was just making sure you
you
knew.
didn't even get to play on Sunday. If you'd have played 3 days, I'd be really jealous.
I hung
But 2
out with
days,
an
whatever.
astronaut. I'm sorry.
Huh?
I hung out with an astronaut on
Who-
Sunday.
who
My
didn't-
bad.
Who didn't even seem cool.
Oh, he was cool. I just didn't get to hear him talk because his stupid girlfriend wouldn't stop talking.
All right.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I guess last in the news, and it'll lead us right into the Genesis. Dustin Johnson just kind of ho-hums it to a 5-shot win. Moves to number 1 in the world.
Yeah.
About
which
time, I think.
I think, it was a long
Yeah.
time coming.
Maybe the numbers had to work out right with everybody else for him to make it there.
Yeah. So not to keep talking about me flying to Pebble, but
Yeah.
I sat down in the airport and I was like, ooh, Sunday afternoon, like let's see what's happening. And I look up at the TV and golf's there on the big screen, and I see Johnson at 19 under.
Yep.
And I see the next guy at 12.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Wow.
well,
Guess we'll stop.
let's go somewhere else because this
Yeah.
is over.
So
It's over.
That's a blowout.
So I don't know the exact number of holes because I didn't do the math or the homework to do this, but he made 1 bogey in his first round.
It was like 50, 54 holes. I think
Straight
he
holes
went.
without bogey. He went bogey free in round 2 and round 3.
Yeah.
Didn't make a bogey till like the 8th hole of round
It's
4.
not like the conditions were absolutely stellar either.
And
Yeah.
like, and
That
that
guy-
golf course is bogey fest. Look at everybody else.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it is bogey central out there. And this guy made no bogeys. I think 54 holes, was it, Chris?
There's
That's
some-
incredible.
there's some
something like
birdies
that.
to be
I
had.
watched that bogey.
Yeah.
But there's absolutely some bogeys to be had
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, he if someone was closer, he probably would have broke the record of least amount of bogeys in a round. But
If he had
threw
to
it on,
try.
he threw it on ultra cruise control
Yeah.
on the back 9 on Sunday.
Yeah.
But that record is 3 bogeys in a golf tournament. He had 1 going into the final round, and he had 2 up until hole 14 on Sunday. Easily could have broke
He
that.
plays well there.
Yeah,
guess.
that's what I said last week. Is he's a guy who kills it there, and I didn't pick him because I didn't want to pick him 2 weeks in a row. And
Yeah, but you
oh,
want him.
man.
You live and you learn.
Real quick
That's
about
right.
him. He is the 20th different number 1 player since the ranking started in 1986. And he's also won once a year on tour for 10 straight years and now joins Tiger, Jack, and Arnie as the only players to do so.
That's one of my favorite stats
Yeah.
out there. Just taking down at least a win every year for 10 straight years. I mean, that's playing some pretty good golf. It's not easy to win on tour.
No.
It's not easy to win on tour. And winning a tournament every year for 10 straight years, and obviously some of those being multiple wins,
Yeah.
that's outstanding.
And just to match that up, Jack and Arnie actually did it 17 years in a row. So he's still got some ground to make up.
Still got it. Still working on it. I did confirm. I looked up his age. He's 32.
Oh.
So he's not in his 20s anymore. So that did break that streak. That that did not get broken.
And
the
he's
amount of
expecting his
tournaments.
second child, they announced.
They
so.
did announce that.
Have you guys seen his first kid? Like some
Yeah.
pictures on Instagram. It's a cute little kid.
Yeah. I don't think his life's going to be very hard at all.
No, he's
Nah.
cruising.
Yeah, I think he's
Cruising.
He'll be fine.
If things go wrong with Dustin, he'll just go to Grandpa Gretzky,
yeah.
and he'll be good.
Like it's not like one person in their family made some money, so they're all set. No, everybody has made money.
Yeah. Like
So-
there's multiple avenues to go down
Yeah.
in case things go south.
Yeah. Trust fund is probably full already.
Yeah, he's good. He's hanging out for a while.
All right. Let's round out that top 5. Thomas Peters and Scott Brown shoot 12 under, 5 shots back of Dustin.
Good effort.
And then Justin Rose, Kevin Na, Wesley Bryan, and Charlie Hoffman all finished at 11 and tied for 4th place, as that is. I guess one guy on the list that I would like to talk about is Scott Brown, and who is absolutely right.
Excuse you?
So I didn't mention this in the last podcast. Probably should have, but it was a little early. I've been playing Scott Brown in DraftKings pretty much this whole year. And the reason why is he's made every cut he's played in, but he is terrible on the weekend. Like shoots like a billion on the weekend. But I think as we saw this week is you make a bunch of cuts, you're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
You're going to play well on Saturday
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, and all of a sudden he's got a top 2 finish. So
you keep for a guy like that who's not a huge name top player in the world, you start making a bunch of cuts, paychecks start flowing in,
Yeah.
and then you can kind of play some golf and
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
worry about playing to eat that night kind of a deal.
he's got that experience of playing on the weekend. He just hadn't played very good. I think it was just a matter of time. And I
Yeah.
probably would have said in this podcast, regardless if he had come in second place. And now I just look like I'm hopping on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
But
Real bold call there,
yeah,
Jack.
right? I would say that I think that's probably going to keep rolling. He's made 6 cuts now, 6 out of 6, and now has a top 2 finish. And I think that's a name to look at, even though I still don't know who he is.
Right.
Like I know a name.
And by top name to look at, you mean top face to go find and see what he looks like?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like
Couldn't
that.
pick him out on the golf course.
I like that leaderboard, though.
If there was 5 of us in a room, the 4 of us and him, I probably wouldn't know who he was.
No, it's true.
All right.
I also feel like all the coverage was on Dustin this weekend.
For sure.
Every time I watched.
And why should it be any different?
Yeah.
Or Matsuyama shooting 80 on Friday.
Yeah.
What
or Phil.
happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or Phil missing the green completely, but they just wanted to see his short game, so they just kept showing that.
Yeah, right.
He also did chip in 3 times
Yeah.
for 9 holes.
Yeah.
So I would keep showing him too.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, Kevin Na up there, Wesley Bryan up there.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy you said? Or who was the third guy? I feel like it's a list.
Seehoff, Green Gloves, Charlie Hoffman.
A list of guys that we've all picked
Yeah.
in previous tournaments.
Strong,
Who,
strong one.
Yeah,
They're turning on.
We're just missing.
Justin Rose was just another solid
Yeah,
performance.
it's funny. I didn't mention him because shocker.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
just up there,
Yeah.
like Chris said a few weeks ago. He's just on the leaderboard. He always is.
Yep. So good thing out of those picks, none of us picked any of those players.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
not
pick
even
to win the
close.
golf tournament, Brand Snedeker, +2, miscut is what
Yeah.
it is, I guess.
Whoops.
I was, I think my logic was sound,
Trying to.
but apparently,
I hear you.
But apparently, he didn't want to do what I asked him to do.
Well,
So it is what it is. I had my dark horse made the cut. Keegan Bradley, 4 under, tie for 34th.
I honestly didn't even know he was still playing golf.
No.
Jack.
Keegan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
the Jordans.
Yeah.
No, I know. He
Yeah,
did. I stopped
we-
out there, but he's the guy who's fell
We had a
off.
whole
Well, that's all we-
joggers
that's all we know him
conversation
for.
because of it.
I know.
I
I didn't want joggers this week just for you, Jack.
Perfect.
I didn't want you to make
Well,
fun
you,
of
didn't,
me.
you didn't want to wear them in public, in the airport. You'd be like,
Jack,
All right.
all 3 of us were wearing joggers last week,
Yeah,
other than you.
in private.
I had to get here.
Got to be.
I didn't take
comfortable on the plane.
a tunnel underground.
I'm just looking. I don't see any joggers tonight.
Matt.
We didn't want to disrespect you.
Oh,
and
Matt's got joggers.
Matt's got joggers on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Matt.
And they're not joggers. They're sweatpants.
No, they're called joggers.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
This
They
isn't
used
the
to be
80s.
called sweatpants,
Yeah, well, these are more expensive sweatpants, so
Yeah.
they call them joggers.
Got it.
I still don't know the difference.
right?
either.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Sean took Jason Day, +2,
Meh.
tied 64. He made the cut.
Yeah, made the cut.
He shot
but
off on
he was
Saturday.
He was whatever.
Yeah.
Lost his number 1 ranking.
He did.
Yeah,
He did.
He had. Yeah, I mean that's.
He had it almost a year.
Yeah, now that's something that's been kind of again working the wrong way for a little while now, with his injuries, and DJ's
Yeah.
been working the right way for
Yeah.
a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a number 1 spot that ain't gonna leave for a while.
I think number 1's going to be flip flopping all over the place for this year.
Maybe this year,
Yeah.
but I feel like that's just going to be. I mean, DJ's going to be there for a long time. Whether it's
So the interesting thing about DJ, and the reason he hadn't been number one yet, is because that guy plays a lot of golf tournaments. And the more golf tournaments you play, the higher divisor for points. So the more golf tournaments you play, the harder it is to be high in the ranking. So if he keeps playing the amount of tournaments that he's playing, that he may be bouncing back between 1 and 3.
Give us a little breakdown for those who don't know how the world rankings work. Give us a little breakdown of how that, the easy version.
So you get points for every golf tournament you play in, every sanctioned golf tournament you play in, and those get added up and divided by the amount of tournaments you've played over the last, I believe, 2 years.
It's about 2 years, yeah,
but
events.
But there's a minimum you have to, even if you've played less than 40, they divide by 40. So it basically gives you an average of how many points you've gotten every golf tournament you've played in. So the more you play, the more those wins don't necessarily, the more they get knocked down a little bit. So, so the guys that play right around 40 golf tournaments and win 5 times in 2 years, that guy's probably gonna be number one, which Jason Day is exactly what he did.
Yeah. So it's just an average of who finishes the best over the last 2 years. Not really about wins, although you do get obviously more points for wins. But tell a guy like Luke Donald made his number one in the world a few years back.
Yeah.
Never winning a golf tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, he won maybe 1 or 2 back then, but throughout his whole streak of being number one, didn't win a golf tournament.
Yep.
If you take second in every event you look at, it's a good
and works. And Luke Donald was playing on the European Tour at the same time,
which
helped.
Some of those count.
Yeah.
Harold Varner.
Right. Yeah, HV3.
Whoops.
Yep, plus
Next.
2, miscut. Chris had 2 people make the cut again. Just Mr. Consistency over
Chris. Here. I'm sick of you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm done.
JB Holmes shoots 4 under, tied for 34th. Brendan Steele 3 under, tied for 39.
Right. Yeah, the ugliest swing on tour.
Yeah, didn't see either one of them on TV.
No,
it's because people would throw up. Idiots.
So yeah, Chris, ho hum. Moving on.
Yeah, carry on. I'm done talking about it.
Shout out to our DraftKings winner this week, L Swish 10.
Who is L Swish, by the way?
I don't know.
That's a lie.
No, I literally don't know which one of my family members. I assume it is someone I know.
I got to take a wild stab and say that L Swish being pretty close to like a J Swish.
Yeah.
With the same number afterwards.
Wouldn't that be awesome if I just had another account? No, it's not me. It's not me.
I was like, dang.
You wouldn't let that one
two
go.
entries?
So my family member who's listening to this, please let me know who you are, because I'll give a real name shout out.
I'm going to request that you don't tell him who you are. You just keep winning.
Yeah.
You just make him go crazy.
Yep. So I think he really crushed it. He or she, I don't know.
he or she was outstanding.
Chris came in second.
That's pretty good for him.
Followed by me, Mr. Consistency Chris, and then me. And
What's next on the list here? What else are we talking about?
Sean didn't come in last again, so we're good.
It. Not last. 2 weeks in a row, baby.
He's working on it. Need more people to join the game.
I saw some friends in the game. I think I saw Kyler's name.
Yeah, we had
Duclos.
We had eight people in it this week, up from 4 or whatever. So
let's
we're moving. 8 people in from 4. We got questions. We're moving on up, man.
People are into it. Yeah,
moving on up.
We've gotten halfway decent.
I got to take these picks more seriously now because people are looking.
Yeah.
So I got to kind of hold my own.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
And we're back!
All right, guys. This week, the Honda Classic played out in Florida, Palm Beach Gardens, at PGA National. One of the hardest golf courses of last year. I think it was the 5th hardest golf course. That included majors.
Wow.
So, in relation to par. 7,100-yard par 70 golf course. 12 water hazards. So, a few balls will be lost.
They don't like that.
No, they do not like that.
They do not like that at all.
Small greens as well. I thought this stat was interesting from last year. The average amount of greens hit in regulation was 10.79 for an 18-hole golf course.
That's not
good.
So
wow. Could be some pretty small greens.
Pretty small greens and hard to hit. A few greens with water around them too. So not all the way around, but close enough. One of the harder golf courses they play, probably because of the water features.
To add to your stats there, the Bear Trap 15 through 17 is the 3rd toughest 3-hole stretch on tour, and 5 through 7 are the 4th toughest 3-hole stretch. So
to have 2 different stretches of holes,
to have the toughest on tour.
Yeah,
wow.
They play 2.7 over par.
Wow.
So defending champion Adam Scott actually made a quad on Saturday on 15, I believe. Still shot 66 that day.
What's the stats for making a quad at any day during the tournament and still winning?
He shot
gotta be pretty
he shot
slim.
66 that day. He made a quad
With a quad.
with a quad.
If I make a quad,
Yeah.
I'm shooting 66 on that side.
Yeah,
Like there's no question.
if I made a quad, there's probably a few more coming with it.
Yeah, no, yeah. You don't just have a lone quad.
No.
Like it's a rough day, and you're having some struggles.
Yeah, that quad was after the double.
Yeah, we improved.
So-
I made double on the following hole also.
Yeah. So when we come to make our picks, a couple stats that I looked at when I was formulating my picks.
I hope
was-
these stats don't make me want to change my picks.
They might. I'm not going to give you any real concrete stuff.
Okay,
I'm just gonna- these stats I looked at. One was scrambling, because if you're missing 6 to 8 greens around, you better be able to get up and down.
Okay.
Not make bogeys.
So does your player have to make a lot of mid-length putts? Like, short to mid-length putts? Like, let's say the 5 to 6, 7 foot range? Because if that's the case, I'm going to change my pick immediately.
Possible. Depends. The other side I looked at was greens and regulation. So I want someone with a high greens and regulation this week.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah, because so for me, my picks were right in between someone who was high on scrambling and greens and reg. So if they're going to hit a lot of greens, if they do miss, they might get up and down. So
That sounds like the best player in the world.
Yeah.
huh?
That's who that was.
Believe it
gonna
or
be.
not, some of the people are not the best player in the world.
It's
Wow.
a big European turnout.
It
for
is a
this
big
one.
European. Speaking of the field, some of the big names: Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, Rafa Cabrera Bello, Zach Johnson, Sergio, along with Adam Scott. A lot of, like you said, European tour guys making their debut, because now the race to Dubai is over, so they're all coming over here. Interesting kind of thing about people who play on both tours. They have to get, I believe, 12 starts in the PGA Tour to keep their status for the following year. I believe it's 12. Funny, Martin Keimer didn't keep it this year because he missed the playoffs last year. So, so these guys need to come over and play a handful of events. They just are a little bit more picky.
Didn't the European Tour up the amount of tournaments they have to play there also to be eligible for the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, no,
That happened last year.
you have to be full time on the.
But whatever it is, there's a certain number of events you have to play in
Yes.
in order to be eligible.
You
So
have-
we're both upping what you have to do.
You have to be a member of the European Tour. So guys like, I believe Paul Casey is.
I think it's more so than that. It's not more so, like, it's not just a member. I think you got to be a member and you have to have a certain number of starts.
You have to have your card. So to keep your card, you have to have a certain
Okay,
amount
so
of
is that
starts.
what it was?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't have to before?
I don't think so. I think you just had to be from the countries. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, they're trying to. I don't know what
I
they're
mean,
trying to do.
they're
Make it more
trying to get more
competitive.
people are playing those
In the
events.
European Tour
because,
events, yeah.
No one wants to go watch those because no one really cares.
People in Europe probably care.
Not so much.
No,
If the players in Europe don't really care,
no.
that's because the fans in Europe don't really care.
Maybe.
There's got to be some diehards out there, but from a,
Yeah.
Last 7
That sound-
out of 10 years, it's been European winners of this one.
Yeah.
So
But-
that should
but-
I went Euro, at
Now
least for one of my picks.
I will say that that Florida, a lot of these guys live there. So
Yeah.
this is a lot of guys' homes,
This is
especially where they're at Palm Beach Gardens. I mean, that's right
it's
around.
this and Scottsdale and some SoCal guys.
Yeah.
Like, this is it for
Yeah.
where people live.
Well,
So many guys
Florida,
out there.
Texas, Arizona, either low or no state income tax. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
that's why you kind of
That makes sense.
And
Yeah,
good
that's
golf
right.
courses. That doesn't hurt.
doesn't hurt.
And good weather. That
can-
also doesn't hurt.
You can find good golf course anywhere though.
Can't find good weather everywhere, though.
Mm-hmm.
Southern
No.
California. Don't
Can't
want to be
find it
here.
here.
Don't want to be here.
So bad. But I would say, in comparison to the fields that we've been seeing, this is kind of one of a lighter fields. I was surprised to see that. Rory has played here in the past. Obviously, he got hurt, and maybe this just wasn't fitness schedule.
Wasn't quite ready, yeah.
Tiger was supposed to play, but
Who?
he withdrew like 3 times.
When's that going to happen?
Old
when you
news.
say Tiger and we say who? Never? Okay.
One more year, who's going to care?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a different. We're going to know who he is, but no one's really going to care.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
huh? All right.
I remember that guy. He was good, huh?
Yeah.
Him
When
and
you
Jack.
start when you
Him and
start
Arnie.
when you start getting nostalgic
Yeah,
over
exactly.
somebody, you know they're not there anymore. So you guys got? Who you got, Sean?
I went Euro with my first pick.
Is this the winner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you guys are going to
No.
let me pick Sergio as my
whoever you
as
are.
my dark horse.
No.
No? Okay.
Eh.
Then that's my
No.
winner.
You got Sergio?
I'm going Sergio.
Ooh.
Finished second last year.
Did he?
He did.
Good.
Playoff
I just know
loss.
he's playing decent.
No, that's by
Um,
one.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
And then going off of what you were talking about earlier, guy that makes a lot of cuts, guy that's made a lot of cuts this year, Will McGirt has made. I don't know what he
McGirt?
did. I don't know what he did this last week.
McGurk.
But he had made
That's my
almost
McGurk
every
impression.
I mean, the guy has to talk like that, right?
Yes.
Big McGurk.
McGurk.
Couldn't go a whole podcast without a Jack impression.
right.
Old
Woo!
dirt ball McGirt.
Dirt McGirt. All right, so that's who I got. I got Sergio. I got Will McGirt. That's it. I got a fat guy from Texas.
That's it, and that's all.
A Spaniard.
Chris, who you got?
I was gonna go with this Russell Knox character.
Russell Knox character.
Whoever that guy is.
This
Sounds
guy's
confident, huh?
He seems to be doing well.
Chris was reading PGAtour.com. They're all over this guy. This
Yeah,
week.
that's all I read about.
all
Like
over him.
every analysis I read about was about him making an appearance this week. So,
Being in the tournament.
can I pick Ollie as my dark horse?
Snyder Jans?
Yeah,
Snacks?
I've been calling it shenanigans, but
Shenanigans? All the shenanigans?
that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Ollie Shenanigans.
Ollie
there's
shenanigans.
There's a game called Shenanigans, right? Like a board game?
It's also a restaurant
I
called
was gonna
Shenanigans.
say.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Either way, can we put Ollie Schneider Johns like outside of shenanigans?
He doesn't wear a hat.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean,
But-
he's got to be one of like
But
2 to 3 tour players that don't wear hats.
yeah,
And I can't name the other 2.
Is that
So-
missing out on sponsor money?
I think so. Remember we talked about this. He needs
Yeah.
to be tattooing stuff on his forehead.
That's
Yeah.
got to be a big ticket item, though. Like the hat has got to be almost number 1, right?
Maybe he'll wear the restaurant
Yeah.
hat.
Ooh,
Shenanigans.
Get sponsored by
Yes.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
I like that.
No,
I
but
like
we
that.
need a Photoshop picture of Snyder Jans outside of shenanigans. For sure.
Eric.
Yep, let's do this.
No. Who do you
But
got,
yeah,
Jack?
Knox and Ollie for me though.
Knox and Ollie. All right. I got as my winner. Number 1 on the PGA Tour in scrambling this year so far, and number 14 in greens and regulation. Ricky Fowler.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Likes those Florida events.
yeah, I was not gonna pick. He is not someone I would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna take Ricky Fowler in this event. But I looked it up. I'm going with analysis. I'm going with stats.
Tired of Chris winning.
Moneyball.
Trying to do some
Yeah.
research. I'm going full Moneyball.
I didn't read Moneyball, but I think that's the premise behind it.
I watched the movie.
I throw
saw
I
darts.
got
it
the
too.
gist of it.
Yep. So that's my pick to win.
Okay.
And one of the big names in the field.
Yeah.
My dark horse is Mr. Charles Howe III.
I want to mention to everybody that Jack had to pick up his
CH3.
paper to find out who he picked as his
I had to
dark horse.
remember, yeah. CH3.
Yeah.
I bet you no one's
Doesn't
used that.
flow as well.
No, it does not.
CH3? Like
No.
DL3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not quite the same.
So Mr. Charles Howe III, I believe, 10th in scrambling and 12th in greens and regulation.
Did the guy not take like a top 2 in the last couple of events?
He's had some really good events. He's been really strong this year.
You missed the
Played-
cut though.
I played him in
Does that
drafting.
not-
No,
That doesn't
he made the
DQ
cut.
him
Oh, he did?
from the.
he shot 9 under at Genesis. Yeah.
Oh,
Doesn't DQ him from the dark horse pick?
No.
The guy who's absolutely just murdered it this whole year.
No, literally.
Okay.
If half of our listeners don't know who the person is, then that makes it eligible for a dark horse.
No, that makes them need to do more work.
no.
More research. Pay
That's
attention.
that is the
Charles
baseline.
Howell
That is
it's just
that's
that.
the baseline. If 50% of our listeners don't know who someone is, that can be a dark horse. I would say most people know who Tiger, Sergio.
But Tiger absolutely is the worst dark horse pick you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So
but,
can I pick Tiger as a dark horse at the Masters?
Sure.
Because he's garbage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm surprised
fine.
you didn't pick
fine.
Rafa. This is a U.S. Rafa event here.
So I originally he was one of the names I floated or was thinking about. First time he's playing in this event.
yeah,
Never really like that.
Never,
And-
not a good sign.
And on the European Tour, he's 134th in scrambling.
oh,
On the European Tour.
Yeah.
That means he's
134th.
probably not really ranked on the
100,
PGA Tour.
134th in scrambling.
Yikes.
Guy hits a lot of greens, though. He's 5th in greens regulation. So he doesn't have to scramble as much.
Yeah.
player
If he
to
doesn't
watch.
But
Player to
I-
watch list.
It was one of the guys that I was looking at and might be in my DraftKings lineup. We'll see.
Do you think Adam Scott has a chance of repeating?
I don't think so. He hasn't played a whole lot. I think the Genesis was his first tour event this year. He didn't play at the Tournament of Champions. So I think he's still knocking the rust off a little bit. I don't know if that's and if he makes a quad, definitely not. No, not going back-to-back winners with quads.
No, you can't go quad back-to-back winners. It's impossible.
Nope.
Never been done before.
I
Be in the record books.
yeah,
It'd be in my record book at least.
yeah. I don't know if that is factual.
Don't
good.
Don't look it up.
No,
No, it's
that'd
not.
be very hard to look up.
Yeah.
Don't even try.
No.
Lot
Let's
of-
just take my word for it.
lot
I've
of-
been,
lot of
I've been
legwork.
completely. I've been perfect
Yeah.
so far this season.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
So
all
that's
right.
anything else on this tournament?
Nope.
I
Let's
think
sit
we're pretty
back,
good.
watch, see what happens.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Should be a good one. Let's roll on into some questions.
Ooh, questions. I'm excited for these.
All right. First question. You want to start? Let's start with this one. First question coming in from Mark C. Shout out to Three Sides. How do you? This is a golf question, not PGA Tour. This is like golf in general question.
Just as like everybody else playing golf.
Yeah. How do you regain your rhythm or center yourself when you find yourself in the weeds on the course?
Don't get in the weeds to begin with, Jack.
Well,
that's my philosophy.
How about this? Don't play a golf course that has weeds.
Ooh,
That might be another
also,
one.
There's two options,
But
Mark.
I
Good
think,
luck.
I think he's saying when you're hitting bad shots,
Oh,
when you're
okay.
in the outskirts,
Okay.
when you search for your ball for that 3.5 minutes and then you found it and wish you didn't find it, like or when you're hitting it out there in those regions. How do you bring
Okay.
yourself back?
So my quick little thing on this is because you hit a bad golf shot, because you hit a ball into the weeds or into wherever it is, the next swing you make is not, I need to make up for the last shot.
Yep.
It is not the way your mind needs to work, or it's the way everyone's works.
That's how
but
mine
you
works.
need to shut that off.
Yeah.
I mean, it is not, you don't always have to go into hero mode and make up for the last bad shot that you hit. That's what leads to Adam Scott making quads. But no, that's how you make big numbers.
Yep.
There's always a time to go for it, and there's a time to play, reasonably safe, take your medicine, knock it back out into the fairway, whatever it is you need to do. But you need to take it one shot at a time always.
Yep.
You hit that one bad shot, you get a bad break, whatever it is, go up for the next shot, play it like you're laying zero, and like, what's the best option for me to do from this position I'm in now?
Yep. Every golf hole, you're allowed one mistake and you can still make a par.
No question.
Just don't make number two.
Yep.
When you make big numbers is when you made 2 mistakes or 3 mistakes in the same hole. Just like what Sean's saying, don't try to get it all back in one shot. Just hit another. If you hit it out somewhere, get it back into play. Don't try to hit it through the 4-inch gap in the trees and try to make it. Birdie you hit a bad shot, you might not be making birdie. And you know what? If you're a bogey golfer, you might not be making par.
Yeah.
But you're trying to make either par or bogey at that point. If you hit 3 good shots, you might make a birdie. Still might make a par. Still can make a bogey in some instances. But if you're allowed one mistake a hole, and it's okay. It's okay to hit a bad shot. It's going to happen. The best golfers in the world hit bad shots. Just don't hit another one and another one because
it's golf.
you're upset. Yeah,
It's golf. There's
Absolutely.
a lot of bad shots out there.
Yep. This is
The way I describe playing good golf is linking good shots together.
Yep.
You want to play a really good round, link good shots together. You want to put up McDonald's numbers, it's called link bad shots together.
Yep.
And that's how those scores really add up.
Yeah, this is a non-golf related stat. This is one of my
The
favorites.
McDonald's stat?
No.
Oh,
that is,
okay. Over billions and billions served.
Yeah.
Carry on, Jack.
But I played baseball growing up, and I had been coached by guys who played professional baseball. If you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
You get a hit 3 out of 10 times, you're batting 300, you're in the Hall of Fame. It's okay to fail. It's okay to hit a bad shot. Just try not to hit a bunch of bad shots. So that's our little advice there, Mark.
Yeah,
try not to worry about it and focus on hitting a good shot and a good shot that is maybe safe. Get yourself back in play. Don't try to be a hero.
And I got to say, that's what the best players in the world do, is they're able to make that, hit that bad shot, step up to the next one, act like it never happened, and carry on and go for it.
Or if you have a beer, just drink it and move on.
Yeah.
And that's Chris's addition to this, which is also true. Not recommended necessarily,
If
but
I had the amount of beers that I had bad shots, we'd be in trouble.
we would never finish 18 holes.
And I'm a decent golfer.
Yeah, right.
So, Chris, let me know how that goes for you, Chris.
Oh, it never goes well.
I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. I had quite a few beers at your pot game last week.
Yeah.
And I won.
And you still won.
So,
See?
how's that? No, still won. That's how I won.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But you hit a bad shot, you drink a beer.
that's it.
Move on.
What else we got on there, Jack?
All right, let's move on down the list. This comes from PJ. PJ. There are so many golf clubs. How do I know which one to use and when to use it?
So this guy is definitely an advanced level golfer.
Yeah.
PJ.
PJ.
So
good.
I'm going to take this a little different route here, Jack,
Okay.
which is called this guy is fairly new to golf, obviously. A guy who doesn't
probably.
know a whole lot about golf and doesn't know what all the different clubs are. My call to PJ is you don't need 14 golf clubs in your bag.
I totally agree.
You know, my biggest thing, like, you know, for most players, there's not a big enough difference in a 7-iron and a 6-iron or a 6-iron and a 5-iron to need all of those golf clubs.
No.
You can get by with a short club, you know, a wedge, a middle iron, like a 6-iron or a 7-iron, and then a hybrid or a fairway wood and a driver, whatever it is. That's all you need to go out there and play some golf and kind of enjoy your time out there.
Yeah, PJ, the reason there are 14 different clubs is because they're supposed to go 14 different distances. If your clubs don't go 14 different distances, you don't need 14 golf clubs.
No, you're making it harder on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I got 14 clubs in the bag, and I make mistakes all the time on what club I should be hitting. So, yeah, that would be, if you don't know which one to hit, then you have too many. But then again, with practice, you'll learn how your golf clubs go different distances.
And you'll know when that time comes.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So our advice is to maybe not have so many.
Yeah, take out, go odds or evens, whatever it is.
Yep.
You know, go odds and give yourself some bigger gaps.
Yep.
And, you know, obviously, the thing I tell all my beginners is when you go out and you play golf or when you go to the range, find that friend who knows a little bit about how to get around a golf course. Find that guy who's going to kind of, you know, walk you through some of the steps and have him help you out. You know, write the distances down on paper. And, you know, I'm going to be honest with you, I've still done it up to this day.
Yep.
Written some distances down on paper and went back to that chart and looked at, you know, whatever it is. There's a lot of things to remember, a lot of different clubs, a lot of different yardages. You need some help. Need some help.
Yep. So next question coming in from our friend Mel Herbert. Mel actually sent an audio version of his question that we'll probably play for you.
He's technologically advanced.
He is.
He's good.
Mel actually has been helping us out quite a bit in terms of getting better at this podcasting thing. Mel hosts Talking Tesla podcast as well as This
Won't Hurt a Bit, which is my favorite podcast, Jack.
Yeah, I can't read Sean's writing. He gave this to me.
This
won't hurt a bit. Mel's a seasoned podcaster, but here's Mel's question.
Hey, gentlemen, and I use the term fairly loosely, as you can guess. Look, I got a question about the health of the PGA Tour players and the responsibility of the PGA to fix that. And here's where I'm going. So we've watched Tiger just sort of fall apart in the last few years in terms of his back surgery after surgery, and trust me, they're not just spasms. That back is done. And we see now somebody like Jason Day, who's really early in his career, already having back problems. We've heard about Rory perhaps having a stress fracture in his back. And the PGA puts a premium on these guys hitting at an enormous distance. And they put that premium on there by setting up golf courses so that that's how you win. If you are a big hitter, then you're more likely to win than if you're a small hitter on most of the courses. And because of that, the guys are coming out trying to hit the ball as hard as they can every time. And because of that, these players are getting hurt. So do you believe, like I believe, that the PGA Tour should change the setup of these courses, should put a premium on shot making and short game over power, and that way you're more likely to have players that can last into their 40s and 50s with backs that aren't completely destroyed by the overwhelming forces they're putting on them? Love to hear your thoughts.
Thanks, Mel. It sounds like you're from London. Is he
Jack,
from London?
no, he's not from London.
No?
No.
Is Australian?
I think he's trying to fake an Australian accent to go along with the theme from the last few weeks and doing impressions. Yeah, because I've heard him talk. Definitely not like that.
No?
No.
He just that's his stage voice.
Yeah, it's a stage voice. He puts on a show for the crowd.
All right. Well, back to Mel's question.
Okay.
So first part, Mel, that was a deep, insightful question. A lot of parts to it. First part is when you said that these guys are early in their careers. All these guys have been playing golf for 20 plus years. So yes, they're early in their PGA Tour careers. I mean, Rory, I believe, is 28 years old. He's been playing golf for 20 plus years. Yeah. So to say that this is early on and these guys are young, I mean, these guys, there's a lot of wear and tear going on in these bodies. So to put it all on because they're trying to hit the ball a long way, I think is a misstatement. It doesn't help that they're putting tremendous amount of torque on their backs. They're in the gym, lifting weights like they've never done before. That's Brandel Chambly's argument for that they're hurting themselves in the gym.
And we all know our thoughts on Brandon
Yeah.
Shanley.
So I'm not ready to assume that these back injuries or these knee injuries are correlated to just straight trying to hit the ball a long way. I will agree that it doesn't help. Is it the PGA Tour responsibility to make sure these guys are taking care of themselves and not getting hurt? I just don't think so. I mean, I get it that these golf courses are long, but you're seeing some of them. I mean, this week's part is 7,100 yards, par 70. It's not an extra long golf course. Riviera's not an extra long golf course. I mean, I guess the Masters is length themselves. U.S. Open is ridiculous, but
Jack, I think what you got to remember is we're quite a few years removed from what they called tiger proofing.
yeah,
And the whole, when Tiger Woods came out and did his thing, he proved the point that if you hit the ball further than everyone else, the golf course is easier to play,
Oh, for
and
sure.
you're going to score better.
oh, absolutely.
So from that point moving forward, every single golf course they played, everywhere they went to, lengthened it and made it as long as they possibly could on the grounds that they had.
Yep, absolutely.
To make it harder or not make it harder, but make it so that the long hitters couldn't completely take advantage of everyone else.
But to me, it just made the long hitters even better.
Now,
I mean,
that's where I was going to go.
yeah,
I was going to use Dustin Johnson as an example, who this year driving accuracy percentage is not super high. That's this year though, but the guy hits it pretty dang straight.
yeah,
For being a guy who's one of the longest hitters on tour. If you can hit it that far and you can hit it that straight, I mean, it's hard to stop that. I don't care who you are or what you're going to do to the golf course. It's impossible to get rid of that.
yep.
But I think there's definitely some things a tour can do to
Yeah,
not make it, the old school Tiger effect where you bomb it down there and you wedge it in and who cares what you do? Who cares where it goes?
I mean, I would. Okay, maybe the courses are a little bit longer. I would say that if this was the case, and this is why guys are getting hurt, it's more on the golf clubs and the golf ball than it is anything else, because the golf clubs are not going sideways as much as they used to. The spin rates are way down. The golf ball spin rate is way down, and they don't have to worry about hitting it sideways. They can swing as hard as they can, and it's gonna go relatively straight if they get the face of the club square to impact. I mean, whereas they could be a little off, and it's still not going that far offline.
So that's where I was going to take this one. This is more of a technology issue than it is a PGA Tour issue. They're able to swing it as hard as they can. And as long as it hits that club face somewhere, those guys are good enough that, that face angle when they make contact with the golf ball is within a degree or two either way. And who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to swing as hard as I can.
Yep.
And as long as it's there, fine.
But at the same time, don't you think this is like the baseball thing where it was like an exciting time for home runs and for long drives? People want to see that. And then eventually it'll flatten out. Maybe you get your shorter players back in there.
I think the PGA Tour has already started to do what Mel is asking and changing up the setup of the golf course to do that. I mean, the hardest golf course they played, well, so far has been Torrey Pines. That was 7,500 yards. But the reason why it was so hard is because the rough was so long, and it was brutal if you weren't hitting in the middle of the fairway. There was a premium on hitting the fairway. Where at the Sony and in Palm Springs and all those courses, it did not matter where you hit it as long as you could find your golf ball.
And when you take those golf courses, let's say like Torrey, say you take Torrey, you make the rough even longer, and then you make it 6,000 yards, so way shorter. You take the shorter hitters on tour who have played at a high level, like, even Spieth is not a long guy on tour, but take your Zach Johnsons, guys like that. They're not hitting an unbelievable amount more fairways than the longest hitters on tour are.
No.
So it's not, all you're doing is you're making that guy now from 190 out of knee-high rough, hit it instead of DJ out of ankle-high rough, or, out of knee-high rough hitting sand wedge.
Yep.
So you're not the...
Shortening the golf course is not going to change them trying to rip it. They're going to rip it no matter what, no matter how long or how short it is. You got to either make it penalizing them for not hitting the fairway, or the real answer is the golf club companies can't make such a good driver, or these guys can't be using such a good driver that there is not. They need to put a premium on being accurate. Right now, there just isn't.
Give them a wood bat.
That's right. Go back to Persimmons, Chris. Is that your answer?
Yeah.
But honestly, I think this is it's a lot harder question to answer than than the way you posed it. It's probably not answerable really.
Yeah, and who knows if the data it points to that being the case, why all these injuries are happening. And truthfully, maybe these aren't anymore. They're just happening to bigger names. I mean, Jason Day and Rory and Tiger go down, all of a sudden it's a big deal. You know, maybe it was taking guys that weren't making enough money. I mean, there's a lot of guys that aren't on the PGA Tour anymore because of injury. They're just not big names.
Yeah, and we brought this up a few podcasts ago, but, you know, the fact that the couple of big names were not with back injuries, and, you know, how many guys over how many years from back in the Jack Nicklaus and Arnie days, whatever it is, how many of those guys have back injuries?
Yeah.
You know, some of those swings from back in the day and those finishes that you see those guys making, I mean, that stuff looks painful just looking at some of those photos.
Yeah.
I would argue that the guys nowadays are smarter.
Yeah.
They're smarter with their bodies. These are guys that are hiring personal trainers and chefs and this and that and whatever it is to make sure they're in the best physical shape they can be. And I think it's probably just the state of today's game, and I really don't think there's any getting away from it.
No, and these guys are also playing 15 to 30 golf events a year. That's 4 rounds if they make the cut. That's plus a Pro-Am that they're walking. I mean, these guys are walking, hitting a tremendous amount of golf shots, practicing a whole lot, working out. I mean, I think all these injuries are just wear and tear, and they're, you know, whether they're swinging too hard, the case could be made, but I don't think these injuries just stop if we change the golf courses they're playing.
Yeah. You know, and I think there's another side of it, which is, you know, if it's me and you give me the option to hit it a long way for 5 years or hit it 250 yards for 10 years, I'm going to make some hay while the sun shines, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to bomb it, and I'm going to make some money,
you know,
and I'm going to get the hell out
absolutely
and go to sleep. Like, that's it.
Make your money. I mean, you see it in professional sports all the time where people are taking stuff to make them better, and they don't care what it's going to do to their bodies long term because they got that 4-year deal worth $50 million.
It's sad, and it's kind of the way it is.
Yeah, there's just way too much money out there to be made. You know, if this was more about long-term health and you were doing this for, you know, $100,000 a year, you know, $50,000 a year, maybe you're thinking about it differently. But
and I want to make the point that this question is coming from a doctor, a real doctor.
Yep. A doctor's doctor.
I mean, he's not just making things up. No, you know, as far as the back injuries and things like that. I remember Mel's actually one of my students, and he had mentioned probably a year ago about Jason Day and not being able to swing like that for as long as he's going to be able to, you know, something he brought up a while back. And, you know, you're definitely right. There's no question about it, but I don't think there's any way around it.
Our bodies are not meant to do what we now ask it to do.
Yep.
I mean, they're not meant to run 4.40s. They're not meant to cut on a dime. They're not meant to make a backswing and a through swing.
No,
and hit the
throw
ball
a baseball at 95 miles an hour.
They're not built to do that. You see injuries, wear and tear. It's going to happen.
They're meant for podcasting.
That's right. They're meant for sitting in chairs, man.
My voice is hurting a little bit, though.
Right? But otherwise, great question, Mel. Great discussion. We could go on forever on this subject.
Yeah,
but,
and I'm going to call that less of a question and more of just that's a straight open forum. And I think there's no right or wrong. I think it's just you can talk to 12 different people and get 12 different answers, and they could all be right, and we won't know for a while.
Nope.
Maybe we can get one of these injured players one day.
Hey, while they're not doing anything, right?
Yeah.
I like it. We missed our chance on Rory. We can't call Tiger, Jack. He can't do an interview.
No, he'll say he'll come on. He'll withdraw though.
That's right. Hey, you know what? I'll take a Tiger say he'll be on,
WD?
put it out there, and then withdraw from the podcast.
I'll
take that.
We get enough pub early on.
Yeah. No, we'll
just like
push it hard.
Riviera sold a ton of tickets for Tiger.
That's right.
And they didn't play.
I wonder if that's gonna be a new thing. It's like, hey Tiger, can you just tell us that you're gonna come?
Mm-hmm.
Just put it out there, blow it out there. We'll slang a bunch of tickets, and then 3 days before the event, drop out.
Yeah,
no refunds.
For an extra $500,000, you can go warm up on the range for us.
that's next level.
Make it look legit.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. That wraps it up for us today.
You guys, before we end anything, you guys want any more questions about Pebble? Because I went this last week and I played Pebble. I actually just got home today.
Guess what?
Yeah.
You're not there anymore. And do you have any plans to go back soon?
In my mind, Jack,
that's fine.
I've never left.
Hey, we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
I don't know the next time I'm playing Pebble either.
Can you tell me the last time you played Pebble?
Nope.
I can today.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm missing. So I don't
You know what? That's actually a pretty good argument.
Yeah.
So maybe, you know what? In a year,
It's gonna hurt
in
you a lot more.
In a year from now,
Yeah.
I'm going to be in a worse position than you are.
That's right.
But I wouldn't trade it.
No, it happens. All right. I'm Jack Swisher. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Jack Swisher Golf. He's Sean Paul.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Sean Paul PGA.
Chris.
Instagram only.
You got it. Follow us all at finishingforks@gmail.com as well. I am Jack. For Sean and Chris, we'll see you next week.